I'm Rabbi Yisrael Isaacs, and in honor of Mishpatim and Jewish free loan, here are the top 5 things you may not have known about lending money in Judaism. Number 1, is there a mitzvah to loan money? Many of us would think that the answer is no. Lending money is, of course, a nice thing to do, but maybe it's technically not an actual mitzvah, a formal commandment of the Torah. It is obvious to us that there is a mitzvah of tzedakah, charity, giving money to a person in need. But one might think that just lending money is not really charity, because the person has to give the money back in the end. You're only giving them use of your money. Surprisingly, however, a mitzvah of giving money does not appear openly in the Torah, but the mitzvah of lending money without charging interest does appear multiple times. In fact, the mitzvah of tzedakah is derived from the Torah verses that talk about lending money. This leads us to the point number 2. Loaning money is a bigger mitzvah than giving money. Why would lending be better than giving? One reason is that through a loan, one can help the recipient in a more dignified manner. Since the borrower will be responsible to repay the funds eventually, he doesn't have to feel like he is dependent on others and potentially be ashamed of not being capable of caring for himself. Number 3, there's a second commandment too. Aside from the positive commandment to issue loans to the needy, the Torah also prohibits taking interest to profit from the lending of money. Economically, this might be hard to understand, since not allowing interest disincentivizes lending money, since the lender temporarily gives up the use of the money while not receiving anything in return. From a moral perspective, however, lending money without compensation makes perfect sense, because to be kind, we are willing to sacrifice our own time or resources in general in order to help someone that is in need. Not paying interest is also extremely beneficial to the borrower because it helps prevent his outstanding debt from compounding and spiraling out of control. It is interesting that the prohibition of charging interest only applies when lending money to another Jew. If it is okay to charge a non-Jew interest on a loan, it implies that there is nothing wrong in essence with charging interest, just that we are required to do a special favor to a fellow Jew, a member of our broader Jewish family. Number 4, lending buzzword, gemach. A gemach is a Jewish free loan society, like the Jewish Free Loan of Arizona, which subscribes to both the positive Torah commandment of lending money and the Torah prohibition against charging interest on a loan. Gemach is the Hebrew abbreviation for Gemilut Chasadim, which means acts of kindness, and traditionally referred to money lending funds and societies that have existed for centuries in large Jewish communities worldwide. These organizations also help people with financial means fulfill the mitzvah of loaning money by connecting their funds with people who need them. Beautifully, many people have expanded the concept of the gemach and use the term also to include free loans of household items, clothing, books, wedding gowns, equipment, as well as pro bono services and advice. Number 5, what is the Jewish loan role reversal? Judaism has a strange requirement regarding loans that seems absolutely topsy-turvy. A lender cannot act like a lender. He must act like a borrower. How do lenders and borrowers normally act? The lender pursues the borrower to attempt to collect his loan, and the borrower avoids the lender if he can't currently return his money. The Jewish approach, however, requires the opposite. The lender must actually run away from the borrower. I'm not making this up. If he knows the borrower cannot pay him back right now and sees him in a store or in the street, the lender is not allowed to even walk in front of the borrower, even without saying one word to him, since it may cause the borrower anxiety, embarrassment, or shame. In the unique universe of Jewish lending, there's no need for the borrower to run away. He can live with dignity without being haunted by fears of the lender exacerbating the awkwardness of his needy predicament. Thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting Jewish Free Loan.